to the Horror Show. I'm Susie Von Slaughter.
And I'm Marcia Parker. And today we are doing
Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile.
Yay!
I cannot believe I actually remember that.
The Extremely Wicked long title.
Yes.
Starring Ted Bundy and Zac Efron. Wait.
Kinda.
Zac Efron as Ted Bundy. So this movie is about another Ted Bundy story. However, it's spun a different way. It's actually in the perspective of his girlfriend, and kind of how she took in the information and how she digested the information, and just kind of looking at it at a different angle, which was really interesting. Overall, I enjoyed it. It definitely wasn't what I was expecting, because every time we think about Ted Bundy, we think we're going to see, like, the gruesomeness and the bloody, gritty details of what he did. And that's what you're not going to get from this. This is, you're going to get bits and pieces, but they're not going to really dive into that part. They're really just going to tell the human side of it, which was really interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, no, before I actually saw it, I saw everyone posting about how they hated it because they hated how, like, they romanticized it. But this is the thing. I thought it was great because it was more realistic. You know, serial killers, they don't look a certain way. You know what I mean? So, and their demeanor doesn't mean anything. And he was a really, like, suave, charismatic guy, and so that's how he got a lot of his victims. So I actually really enjoyed the way that they portrayed him and like how it actually was. So yeah, and from his girlfriend's perspective, yeah, the ending it blew my mind. So yeah, no, I really liked it. I thought it was a good story.
Yeah, and to your point, to add on to that, like, a lot of people were really thrown off because when you think, oh, it's a serial killer, it's this person, you're thinking like Charles Manson or Gacy and all those kind of weirdos that look like weirdos, and that's not Ted Bundy. And everybody was fooled by him. The police were fooled by him. Media was fooled by him. You know, many women were fooled by him, and it's just because he's a true psychopath that's able to manipulate people and really, like, you know, pull that charm to get them to do what he wants. And
the way he would talk, like, you could tell, like, the way he carried himself and the way that he would talk about situations, you almost would believe, or wouldn't believe that he did these things. And it's almost like he believed his own lies. You know what I mean? Like, he had convinced himself that, you know, no, I didn't do this. And, you know, so it was hard, you know, it was hard to believe, because I watched the Ted Bundy tapes. And so actually watching this movie with Zac Efron, I thought they did a really good job with showing, like, what actually happened, and they nailed it pretty well. So I guess, like, now I'm getting into the acting. Yeah, they nailed the scenes pretty well. You know, when he was the one cop person detective, like, was coming out the elevator, and that whole you know, little conversation that was going on was pretty much exactly, like, word for word, even the mannerisms, everything, body language, with what really happened. So I appreciated that. So yeah, acting, I thought I was done really well. Zac Efron, I wasn't always a fan of, but I became a fan because of his comedy stuff. So this was, you know, absolutely different, but I think that he did a really good job.
Yeah, I think everybody really did a good job in this movie. Zac Efron was a perfect choice to portray this role, and a lot of people had doubts, but I didn't. As soon as they said who it was, I was like, that makes sense. It really makes sense. And if you are not a fan of Ted Bundy, but if you followed the history of Ted Bundy and really realize you know, who he was and what he was about, like, you were like, you would connect it, because it definitely does. And he did a fantastic job, you know, capturing him. He obviously, you know, did his research and really nailed it. The girlfriend was amazing too.
Yeah, she's great.
She was so believable. And you know, sometimes when you watch these type of movies and you're like, bitch, come on, like, what are you doing? Like, you're leaving your kid. Like, there was a couple times he's like, I'm leaving my kids with Ted Bundy, and I'm like, oh my god, but we know she has no idea.
Yeah, she didn't know, yeah.
And, and then when she realized, holy cow, I left my kids with this guy, like, he's changed my daughter, he's helped her ride a bike, he did all of these things with her, and, and he was doing this without me ever knowing, and just to, like, think
Which
about
is crazy,
that.
too, because of what he was doing, and he did nothing to hurt her or, her kid. So...
He really played both lives
Yeah,
really
he
well.
really had that double life. He worked it, and he did it.
Yeah, and I thought they did, even the cops did a really good job. The main detective, he was really good. I don't know the actor's name, but everybody was on point. It was a very strong movie all the way through. To touch on, I know we kind of touched on the story, but when you, I just want to make sure we kind of go through it a little bit more. So when you start the movie, you see Ted Bundy and his girlfriend meet, and they're building this relationship, and then they start hearing about these different murders that are happening. And then when he starts to study more into the law and going into a different state, going to Utah to study, and then you start hearing about him, but like you hear about other women who started getting murdered and being disappearing. They're finding bodies, and they're clocking a similar vehicle. And, a picture going around that looks like Ted Bundy. So she starts thinking, like, oh my God, is this him? Is this not him? And then, and then she kind of puts it back of mind, even though you find out a little later. And if you know the story, it's not much of a spoiler, but she does report him as
she's the one who did it.
Yeah, and originally, and they dismissed it for a long time, and then all of a sudden, when he got pulled over in another state, and they were like, "Why do you have all of this stuff in the trunk?"
I got all that junk in your trunk.
Yeah, like they're like, "Wait a second, somebody has reported this guy before," and that's when they start connecting everything, and it really took a long time for him to actually get hit. Like, I didn't even realize how many times he broke out of jail. Like, I've listened to the story so many times.
That shit made me laugh. Like, he escaped twice at the fucking window. Like,
so easily. So easily. Like, you threw the window of the courthouse, basically right out of the jail. Like, how did that
through the ceiling and shit.
Yeah, like,
he's a smart dude.
What? And then, and every time all these women died, but it wasn't him, right?
No, not at all.
So the story was really good. Did you like the overall story?
Yeah.
They did a good job with that. Awesome. What about, like, there wasn't a lot of, like, blood and guts, and whenever there was anything, it was practical. I think there was mostly, like, photographs and stuff like that. There was nothing, like, too brutal going on here, but the set design and costume design was on point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the makeup, everything, from when, that final scene when he's in jail, the way they aged him is really, really good. They did a good job.
Yeah, so they really leaned on just a little bit of the practical makeup, and then and then huge on the set design. I mean, I felt like it was.
Yeah, they nailed it.
Yeah, I felt like it was the 70s, right? Yeah. Late 60s, 70s.
Something like that.
I don't remember. It felt like it, though. It was definitely in that era. And so anything else we want to grab on here? Sound design. I mean, was it too much to talk about?
The ending, though. The ending when he blows on the glass.
Oh, yeah.
And writes the hacksaw. Dude, that was like... Then you see the madness. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that was really striking for me, the ending.
When he finally just went...
He admits it but doesn't admit it. Like, again, he's being smart about it. Like, he knows, like, this is a true psychopath. Yeah. Like, he's a very, very intelligent person.
He knows he's being recorded, so he doesn't want to say it out loud, but he was like, all right, I'll let you... I'll
But yeah, just the way he did it, though, just like... so slowly, and just like his face, like you could see that part of the insanity that's in him right then in that moment. And Zac Efron, that was great.
It was so good. I recommend watching it if you haven't seen it yet, especially if you're a serial killer, true crime fan, then you will enjoy it. Just don't expect it to be anything you've seen before when it comes to recapping these type of stories, because
don't expect to see all the kills and stuff like that, because
No,
that's not what it's about.
It's not. You're really just kind of getting back into the human side of it and just kind of showing. I don't feel like it was romanticizing it. I think it just kind of gave it more perspective.
No, it was realistic. It shows you.
I feel like
people.
it took away from the romantic aspect of like, oh, Ted Bundy is a serial killer. Serial killers are cool, but it just shows like how it destroys families and how it destroys lives, and it's not just the victims that are fooled and destroyed in their families. It's everybody that comes in contact. Like, I can't even imagine being a person sitting there and going, oh crap, like I'm responsible in some way because I knew this person, or I just let this happen and I didn't say anything, or I didn't put anything together. Like, it's it's hard.
Yeah. So
that is the extremely wicked and
shockingly evil and vile.
Wow!
Gold star!
Yay.
Oh my god!
Ding,
I'm probably going to remember that for the rest of my life for no
ding.
reason. It just stuck to one brain cell and it's just going to stay there now.
Hold it! Hold!
Alright, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'm Susie Von Slaughter.
I'm Marcia Parker.
And remember,
Stay scared!